Good day everyone. So our topic for today is about correlation analysis. So this module, as part of the response in crafting the alternative delivery module learning resource of the Commission on Higher Education and Department of Education in the Philippines, is made for the students who took up statistics and probability subject. The research focuses on topics under correlation analysis, which include constructing scatter plot, computing the Pearson product coefficient, and solving problems involving correlation analysis. You are also advised to use application like Excel in your computer in accomplishing some objectives. So this is to make you enjoy the comparison of manual computation and use of formula in the computer application. This lesson starts with a assessment on how much your knowledge you have about the lesson. At the end of the assessment, ensure that you gain an understanding and skill on the objective set. Again, this module is created and crafted by the Department of Education for a curriculum guide. So in this lesson number 1, under correlation analysis. Now, at the end of this lesson, you are expected to illustrate the nature of bivariate data, construct a scatter plot, and describe shape, the form, the trend, the direction, and variation or the strength based on the scatter plot. Now, what is bivariate data? In statistics, this is classified according to how many variables are in a particular study. So when you conduct a study that looks at a single variable, that study involves an univariate data. So for example, you study a group of students to find out their average grades. Well, bivariate data is when you are studying two variables. Again, univariate data involves in a single variable. For bivariate data, it is used when you are studying two variables. Okay, so these variables are compared to find the relationship between them. So for example, age might be one variable and weight might be another variable. Another is when you want to find out the temperature in the ice cream sales. Using correlation analysis, we can find out the relationship of variables in the bivariate data. Many businesses, marketing, and social science questions and problems should be solved using bivariate data sets. For instance, is there a link between child obesity and family income? And this is where correlation analysis is helpful. The correlation analysis is a method of statistical evaluation used to study the strength of a relationship between two numerically measured continuous variables, like as I mentioned, height and weight. And this particular type of analysis is useful when the researchers want to establish if there are possible connections between the variables. So, how about the positive correlation? So, both variables move in the same direction. So, in other words, as one variable increases, the other variable also increases. That is positive correlation. As one variable decreases and other variable also decreases, an upward trend and point indicates is positive correlation. So again, If one variable increases and the other variable also increases, that is positive correlation. As one variable decreases and other variable also decreases, that is also a positive correlation. An upward trend in points indicates a positive correlation, either downward or upward. We have negative correlations. No? The variables moves in opposite direction. As one variable increases, the other variable decreases. So as one variable decreases, the other variable increases. A downward trend in points indicates a negative correlation. So example, no, as what we have here, academic performance versus number of hours watching TV, stress versus job performance. We have also what we call, as I mentioned, this will be a negative correlation, right? So this will be an example already, no? The variables move in opposite direction. As one variable increases, the other variable decreases. Or as one variable decreases and other variable increases. How about the zero or no correlation? It means that there is no apparent relationship between the two variables. For example, shoe size versus salary, socioeconomic status versus grades. That is actually no correlation at all. Now, the strength of a correlation is determined by each numerical value. It may be perfect, very high, moderately low, very low, and zero. So, this diagram actually shows some example of scatter plots and correlations. So, we have the strong positive correlation as you can see here. We have the weak positive correlation. We have strong negative correlation. We have weak negative correlation. We had moderate negative correlation and no correlation at all. So for those who want to use a creating scatter plot in spreadsheet or Excel, no? So what interesting is you can create your scatter plot from your data using Excel. So how? What you're going to do, of course, select the worksheet range that contains the data. No? So as what we have here, no? We highlighted, no? This one. It's already highlighted. Click on the Insert tab. So, find the Insert tab. Click the XY or Scatter Chart command button. Then, select the chart subtype that doesn't include any lines. Then, confirm the chart data organization. Annotate the chart if appropriate. So, add those little flourishes to your chart that will make it more attractive and readable. So, for example, you can use the chart title and axis title buttons to annotate the chart with a title and with description of the axis used in the chart. But if you want to add a trend line, click Add Chart Element, Menus, Trend Line Command button. So, as what we have here, based on the given example. No? So, this will be the step, and this will be the possible output, right? After following this instruction. Our next lesson is about person, product, movement correlations. So, it will discuss on how to calculate the person's sample correlation coefficient and then how we'll be able to solve problems involving correlation analysis. Of course, the most common coefficient of correlation is known as the person-product moment correlation coefficient, or in short term, that is persons R. It is a measure of the linear correlation or the dependence between two variables, x and y, giving a value between +1 and -1. It was developed by Carl Pearson from a related idea introduced by Francis Galton in the 1880s. When conducting a statistical test between two variables, it is a good idea to conduct a person correlation coefficient value to determine just how strong the relationship is between the two variables. So if the coefficient value is in the negative range, then that means that the relationship between the variables is negatively correlated. Or as one value increases to other decreases, if the value is in the positive range, then that means the relationship between the variables is positively correlated, or both values increases or decreases together. Again, if the coefficient value is in negative range, then that means that relationship between the variables is negatively correlated, or as one values increases, then the other decreases. But if the value is in the positive range, then that means the relationship between the variables is positively correlated, or both values increase or decrease together. So we have here to determine the strength of the computed R. So we have here the no association or correlation. We have here the very low correlation. We have here the moderately low correlation. That is 0.50 to 0.75. That is moderately high. 0.75 to 1. That is very high or strong correlation. And more than 1. That is perfect correlations. So, most of spreadsheet editors such as Excel, Google Sheets, and OpenOffice can compute correlation for you. No? So, this will be the illustration as what we have here. No? Using the Excel, click on the empty cell where you want the correlation coefficient to be entered. Then enter the formulas. So, as what we have here, so we use displays to display the person R. So, then we just simply type the person. Then, of course, the array one, this one, from 7 to, you just simply highlight this one. Then, comma, as what we have here, that is A2, because this is this is 2. Then, column A, So, column A, that's why A2. As what we have here, that is A2, Colon, then up to A7, right? So, A2, this one, A2 to A7. Then, comma, then RE2, that is B2, that is B2 up to B7. That's what we have here, B2 colon to B7. But it's separate by comma. Then, press enter. Then, automatically, we could able to get the person R. It's too easy, right? So, as what I've mentioned earlier, for example, above the person correlation coefficient is 0.076. Okay? That is below 1. So, that's it. This is the simple way that we'll be able to get the person R. Okay, so this will be our references, of course, from Belicena, R. Bacay, and Mateo E. Mercado, and J. Orenes, F. And of course, we have a lot of web addresses or URLs for us to have this kind of example. And of course, Department of Education in the Philippines. Okay? And the group or the team who created the probability and statistics intended for the Department of Education here in the Philippines. Thank you, everyone, and see you to our next topic. God bless everyone.